I have a real hard time eating fat. I hear that a lot in my comments out on Facebook groups, that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that today. Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Very briefly, what you're watching is you're watching me walk. 22 months ago, I couldn't do this. I could barely stand for a couple of minutes without severe pain. Now I'm out here walking every day, and that's all thanks to the carnivore diet. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. I'm glad you're here as well. It does mean a lot to me that you choose to spend just a few moments of your day with me. I'm going to have to ask each and every one of you to help me out here. Help me get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. I'm 60 years old, and I'm doing things that I couldn't do when I was 40. So why don't you go ahead and hit that thumbs up, drop down in the comments and say, "Hi, Bob." You might even consider subscribing if you haven't already. All these things are absolutely free and help get the word out that it's never too late to change your life. But let's talk about this problem with fat. And I hear it a lot. I know I'm supposed to eat more fat, Bob, but I can't stomach the fat. It makes me sick. The first thing I would suggest is get yourself like a creme brulee torch, and after you're done cooking your steak or roast or whatever it is, take a torch to the fat and crisp it up. If you don't have a torch, you can always cut the fat off, throw it in the air fryer, and crisp it up that way, and see if that helps. One of the other things you can do is add butter or ghee after you get done. You know, if you're one of these people that can't stomach the fat on, say, a ribeye, and you have to cut that off, try putting chunks of butter on top of it and see if you can stomach that, or even ghee. One of the things that I do, now I do it with primarily tallow, because I have that from when I cook my ground beef. I'll take the first runoff, because when you buy the 7327 ground beef, there's a lot of fat that renders out of that. But to save that, after the initial cook, where I basically have a great big patty of beef in my skillet, I cook it on one side for a few minutes, then I flip it over, and that first pile of grease, I dump that into my other skillet, and then break my eggs into that and scramble them up. And they fluffy up pretty well, you know, because I don't know if you remember, you know, when we were kids, our mom would add milk or cream, or sometimes even just a little splash of water to the eggs to help them fluffy up. Well, grease will do the same thing, and I have found that if I'm scrambling eggs with butter, 6 eggs will soak up about 1/3 of a stick of butter without leaving any residue in the pan. When I try it with a full half stick of butter, I end up with some butter residue in the pan. So it won't soak up quite that much, but they seem to soak up more of the tallow, because I do what would work out to probably 2/3 of a stick of butter melted, that much tallow in the skillet with 6 eggs. The eggs will soak all that up, they'll fluffy up, and you're getting all that extra fat. But for those of you that are eating lean because you can't stomach the fat, you have to find a way, because the fat is full of fatty acids, which are essential, which means our body can't make them. Just like a complete protein profile, if you eat beef or lamb or other ruminant meats, you're getting a complete protein profile. You also need a complete fat profile so that you're getting all the fatty acids you need. I know this has been a really short little video, not much of a topic, but you got to find ways to get the fat into your diet. And the other one, they're like, "Oh, Bob, I've tried eating the gristle on chickens and other stuff to get the collagen that everyone's always talking about. I just can't do it." Now, I do eat some of the gristle, like when I have chicken legs, that little piece of tendon that kind of hangs down. I do just kind of choke that down. If you can't do that, the other thing I do for collagen is Cerule, link down in the description, makes a collagen active drink. Just mix that up in a glass of water and drink it down. As I've said, it kind of tastes like that flavor of Kool-Aid that your mom always made because it was on sale, but you never really liked. It's like that flavor. It's not bad. It's just not good like the grape or the cherry was. That's another way you can get your collagen. But collagen is really important. Just like fat is really important. You need to make sure that you're getting the complete nutrition profile. Because if you're not getting the complete nutrition profile, you're going to run into problems. That's really about all I wanted to say today. Just don't give up hope. There is a way to get the fat into your system. You might have to experiment. I know there's Amazon sells a great big tub of beef tallow that I've heard is really good. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to at some point. But just keep pushing forward, little baby steps. And remember, our body has a set amount of fat that it can handle. Now, some of us, I'm going to walk on down to the other corner here because I'm not quite done talking. Some of us will have what we think is enough fat. Well, and this is just my theory. I have no science to back me up or anything like that, but our liver concentrates bile and stores it in the gallbladder. Now, those of you that have had your gallbladders removed, you'll have to play with this a little more. Your bile ducts will expand to give you some storage. But if you eat fat that's not getting digested because you don't have enough bile to process it, then it will come, shall we say, rushing out the other end. So if you have extremely loose stools, the first thing I would do is cut the fat back just a little bit. And that's probably where you want to be. Oh, one of the other things I wanted to talk about real quick about getting fat into your system. Try eating it not cold, but let your ground beef or whatever you're cooking sit in the skillet and warm up closer to room temperature, or cool down to room temperature. I know Steak and Butter Gal and Kelly Hogan and a few other people make what they call meat cookies, where they take ground beef and put it into like muffin tins or cookie tins, and then they pour the rendered fat over top of that and let it sit up and then eat them. You might try that to see if you can tolerate the solid fat more than the rendered fat, the liquid fat. Because I've heard a lot of people have problems with liquid fat but have no problem with solid fat. But again, that's just something you have to play around with until you find what works for you. There is no one size fits all when it comes to the carnivore diet. There are little tweaks because we're not all perfect humans that started our life eating what we were supposed to eat and have eaten what we were supposed to eat our entire life. Unlike Rick, the Charger Mopar, who's been doing this for 40 years, most of us have been metabolically sick at some point. So whatever damage we've done to our system, we need to play around with the fine-tuning of this diet to find what we can tolerate. And then try other things as you progress, because our bodies will change as they heal. I hope some of what I said today makes sense. That's what I've got for you today, folks. Tomorrow's the live stream. Don't forget to stop in for that. And Monday after Dr. Barry's live, so it'll be about 7 p.m. Central Time, I'm having a members only live. There's a link to that on the community tab in the members only section. That's what I've got for you today, folks. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.